Good morning, everyone. I am just jumping on here to show you guys what we're working on today. Last week we talked about animals and how they survive in groups. We talked about sometimes it's better, like with a group they get more support in fighting other creatures off, like predators. But they also have to share a lot more of their resources like food, water, shelter, space, and so sometimes that makes it more difficult. So we are going to jump ahead a little bit. We're going to come back to traits in just a little bit, but for now I want to explain to you guys a little bit about fossils and things we're learning from the past that helps us to understand animals now. So I'm going to share my screen here, and hopefully it works this time. This is my round 2. Sometimes it doesn't work, and that is why we practice. Practice makes better. So today's assignment will be called Fossils, Video, and Response. We're going to watch the fossils video in the link below, and as I've been doing lately, I have the questions below so you know what you're going to be looking for before you ever have to click into the PowerPoint. After you watch the video, then you'll click on questions to the fossil video response down here, and then we'll just type our answers right in. So the questions we're going to want to be able to answer is, a fossil is something that is at least this many years old. It is evidence of what? A paleontologist is a scientist who studies what? 3 things that can become fossils are blank, blank, and blank. So what 3 things become fossils? Animal skeletons become fossils when it is blank in rock and dirt. Decomposers, we learned about a couple weeks ago, break down the blank. More sediment is layered on top, causing pressure to squeeze out blank. So what does the pressure squeeze out? Spaces in between the bones are filled in with what? Plants become fossils when they leave behind blank in the rocks. As the plant blanks, it leaves a leaf print embedded in the rock. So what's happening? The plant's doing something and it leaves a leaf print. It is important for scientists to study fossils because they give us clues to blank. So some of those you might actually already know, which is totally fine. The whole point of this is I don't like you guys to have to open up the assignment until you're ready and you feel confident, like, hey, I understand what we're talking about, because yeah, we don't want to half open it, think it's done, and then kind of forget. So what you're going to do first is click into the fossil video, and I believe it opens up in another tab. So I'm going to have to reshare. Give me just a moment. You know, my best buddy technology. Okay. Did I share that with sound? Let me double check. If I don't, oh, there we go. If I don't, you won't be able to hear. That's not good either. Okay, so it's a minute, about 2-minute video. We're just going to learn a little bit more about fossils. Try to listen to these questions.
Hi, I'm Emerald Robinson, and in this What Is video, we're going to investigate pieces of our past called fossils. Many of us think of fossils as just the remains of dinosaurs. In order to qualify as a fossil, an object must be at least several thousand years old. But the oldest fossils have been determined to be about 3.5 billion years old. Paleontologists, the scientists that study prehistoric life, define a fossil as any type of physical evidence of ancient life. Fossils can be tracks left behind by an animal, impressions of plant leaves in a rock, ancient burrows and dens, or an entire insect perfectly preserved in tree sap that has crystallized into amber. Skeletal fossils are made when an animal dies and are buried very quickly beneath layers of fine rock and dirt called sediment. Decomposers, like bacteria and fungi, break down the animal's skin, muscle, and organ cells, leaving just the bones. Over time, many more layers of sediment accumulate on the skeleton, causing pressure to squeeze out any water left in the bones and to fill in any spaces with minerals. This process, called lithification, results in the stone skeletons we see in museums. Since plants don't have a skeleton, it's much rarer to find a preserved plant. Instead, plants tend to leave a type of fossil called an impression. An impression forms in much the same way as a bone fossil, except that as the plant decomposes, it leaves a leaf print embedded in the rock. We've been able to find fossils that have been buried for millions of years because the Earth's geology is constantly changing. Fossils have given us valuable clues to the Earth's past, and who knows what's still buried for us to find.
For thousands of how-to and advice videos on any topic, visit monkeysea.com.
All right. So let me come back. Okay. So I realized she talks very quickly, so you are always welcome to go back and rewatch the video as many times as you need. I do have it in a little safe share thing, so it's not going to automatically send you into other YouTube videos, which I know can be kind of dangerous. So those should be safe. And then after you feel back in, Miss Fife, goodness gracious, after you feel pretty confident about that, you just go ahead back to your questions and say, okay, I'm ready to answer some of these bad boys, and then go to back to your assignment. It'll say fossil video and response. Click on questions for fossil video and response, and then you type right in. I highlighted them so we don't accidentally miss a question because there were multiple questions for some numbers. So a fossil is something that is at least, and I would just click my cursor right there. You can tell it's there because it's flashing. I can type right into it, or I can backspace and type. It's up to you guys. You know the drill. As soon as you've answered every one of those questions, just go back and double check that you filled them in. And then as long as you're doing it online, it automatically saves. See how it saved what I just did? Close it out. And then you'll have a button that'll say turn it in. So that should be pretty good on that. And as always, if you guys have any questions or anything you need help with at all, please send me a message on Teams and or on Class Dojo. And you'll definitely get a hold of me, usually the same day, depending on the time. But all right, guys, I will see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.